Henry comes back to Hong Kong after spending several years in the U.S. military. Now, he wants to work as a teacher, so he visits his old school, Tak Chi Secondary. The principal tells him that he has no experience teaching, but after seeing a strong recommendation letter from a high official, the principal agrees to hire him. Before Henry leaves the office, the principal warns him that the class he will be teaching is the most difficult one in the school. On the morning of his first day, Henry walks into his classroom and sees total disorder. Some students are sleeping, some are singing loudly, others are playing video games, and a few are even cooking instant noodles using a small stove. When Henry enters the room, the students don't care at all and just keep doing what they want. He tries to speak to them, but they act like they can't hear him. Instead of forcing them to listen, Henry walks around the class and talks about the things they are doing. He tells the students who are cooking that too much ramen isn't healthy because it has a lot of salt. He goes to a student named Zufa, who's playing the ukulele, and gives him a few tips. Then, he tells another student who is gaming that staring at the screen for too long might be harmful because of radiation. After a while, the students start to listen. Henry writes his name and phone number on the board and introduces himself, but the students laugh at his handwriting because it looks messy. One of them even calls his phone and tells him to leave the classroom. Henry laughs along, but the students go back to ignoring him. Henry has had enough. He picks up a rubber band and a piece of chalk and shoots it at the fire sprinkler on the ceiling. Water starts spraying everywhere. The students panic and move away to avoid getting wet. Now, he finally has their full attention. Henry then smiles and officially welcomes them to his class. After school, a small group of 5 students, the ones with the lowest grades, gather in the sports equipment room to smoke. Their leader, Jack, is secretly in love with a top student from another class. While Jack looks at her photo, the others notice and tease him about it. Jack and his group don't get along with the rich kids on the school's basketball team. The basketball players often bully them, especially Jack, because he is poor. Later, while the basketball team is practicing on the court, Jack and his friends watch from nearby. Jack quietly drops a bottle onto the court, and the team captain slips and falls. Jack's group laughs, but their fun is short-lived. Miss Liang, the English teacher, catches them and gives them detention. To avoid staying back, they play a prank on her. While she's busy cleaning her desk, the group runs away. Meanwhile, the school principal is having a hard time. The education board plans to cut 20% of the school's yearly budget. To check how money is being used, people from the board come to visit the school and inspect everything. At the same time, Henry walks into his classroom where some students have set up a prank. A bucket of water above the door, but Henry reacts quickly. He blocks the falling bucket before it hits him. The students are surprised and disappointed because their plan failed. Henry asks Jack to hand over his pack of cigarettes. Jack does it, wondering what the teacher will do. Then, Henry turns to Zufa and asks him to name 3 chemicals in a cigarette. When Zufa answers correctly, Henry allows him to skip class for the day. The rest of the class starts banging on their desks, demanding the same. Henry waits for them to stop, then gives everyone a cigarette. But instead of scolding them, he asks them to study the cigarette and explain what they think it does to the body. Henry knows that just warning them won't work, so he makes them think for themselves. He tells them how tar forms in the lungs and explains it in a way they understand. For the first time, the class is curious and pays attention. After the bell rings, Henry asks them to give the cigarettes back. Though they hesitate, they all return them. Later, in the cafeteria, the basketball team captain trips Bruce, one of Jack's close friends. This starts a fight between both groups. They begin shouting, throwing food, and even flipping tables. The cafeteria turns into a mess. Afterwards, Henry learns that 5 students from his class are suspended for causing the fight. Soon after, he sees Jack fighting with one of the basketball players in the hallway. Henry steps in and stops the fight before it gets worse. When Henry tells Jack to calm down, Jack says the school is unfair. He's angry because rich kids never get in trouble, but students like him always do. After school, Henry decides to learn more about the 5 students who were suspended. He looks through their file. The first student is Zufa. He is the son of a Pakistani immigrant and is often treated badly by police because of his race. People always suspect him of stealing, even when he hasn't done anything wrong. Zufa dreams of becoming a musician. The second student is a girl named Danan. Her father always wanted a boy, so he never cared about her. Danan has tried her whole life to earn his respect. She cut her hair short, played with cars, and acted like a boy. But no matter what she does, her father ignores her and treats her younger brother like a prince. The third and fourth students are brothers named Bruce and Chris. Their mother left home with another man when they were very young. Their father became an alcoholic after that. The boys had to grow up depending only on each other. Bruce spends most of his time playing video games to escape from reality. Chris works hard in a grocery store to support their family. When Henry looks at Jack's file, he finds nothing about his family. There's no record or information. Later that night, Jack is working at a restaurant as a waiter. A man named Jian Ying, who who bets on MMA fights, comes in with his friends. While Jianying isn't watching, Jack quietly takes his expensive lighter, but he gets caught. Jianying's men grab him and beat him up. They check his student ID. After finding out he's still in school, Jianying doesn't call the police. Instead, he gives Jack some cash and offers him a job delivering food. Somewhere else, Henry visits Zufa's neighborhood. He sees Zufa running away from his father's men because he stole a concert ticket. At first, Henry helps him escape, but when he finds out the truth, he sides with Zufa's father. Later, Henry and Zufa sit together on a bridge. Henry wants to inspire Zufa, so he joins a street band that's performing nearby. He grabs a microphone and sings with them, showing Zufa that it's okay to follow his passion and not give up on his dream. Just a few seconds after Henry starts singing, Zufa joins him. It's the first time Zufa sings in public since being bullied at school years ago. He finally feels free to be himself. Meanwhile, at home, Bruce and Chris's father comes home late, like he always does. He yells at them to bring him a beer from the store. When they say no, he loses his temper and shouts at them to leave his house. The next day, Henry meets with their father. He talks to him calmly and convinces him to go to rehab. Henry explains that it's not just about him, it's for the good of his two sons. At the same time, Danan's father brings her a bag full of makeup. He tells her to finally act like a girl. Danan gets angry. She tells him she has always tried to make him proud, but nothing she does is ever enough. She puts the makeup on her younger brother and takes her father's car key. She's about to drive away in the car when Henry stops her just in time. He reminds her that driving without a license is illegal and dangerous. Instead, he gives her another idea. He takes her to a go-kart racing track. He even invites her father to come along and race with her. During the race, neither Danan nor her father holds back. They both go all in, racing hard against each other. But then, Danan's cart goes off the track and narrowly misses a crash with a bigger vehicle. Her father, thinking she's been seriously hurt, panics and breaks down crying. When Danan sees this, she finally realizes her father truly cares about her. She walks up to him and hugs him tightly. The next day at school, Bruce, Chris, and some other students are sent to a rehab center as part of a class trip. They are surprised to see that the person they're supposed to interview is their own father. He doesn't tell the others that Bruce and Chris are his sons. The man explains how he used to love his wife deeply, but after she left him during a very hard time in his life, he felt lost and turned to alcohol. In that pain, he forgot how to be a father to his sons. While he doesn't say their names, he apologizes with deep emotion. Bruce and Chris are both left in tears by the end of the talk. Somewhere else, Jack is working for the MMA gambler Jianying. One day, Jianying offers Jack a big amount of money to put drugs in a fighter's drink during an upcoming match. Jack doesn't want to do it, but Jianying forces him to agree. On the day of the match, Jianying sponsors one fighter, but secretly bets all his money on that fighter losing. Jack tries to slip something into the drink, but he gets caught. Before he can explain what really happened or blame Jianying, he's beaten badly by the men and locked inside a locker. Sometime later, Henry reaches the place and asks the people there if they have seen his student. They tell him to go home, but Jack shouts from inside a locker, asking for help. Realizing Jack is trapped, Henry fights the men and beats them quickly. Then, the fighters step in. Things get more serious, but Henry moves fast and avoids their attacks. In the end, he knocks out their best fighter, who was supposed to join the match in just a few minutes. Later, Henry is taken to the hospital where he is treated for his injuries. Jack tries to speak out against Jianying, but someone stops him. The story is shown on TV, and people learn about how Henry saved his student by fighting a professional fighter. He becomes popular, and the students at school start to admire him. When he walks into class, they stand up to welcome him, which is very different from how they acted before. A flashback shows that Henry was also a troublemaker when he was young. He once threw water balloons at a student playing piano during a school event. Later, he got into a fight with the same student and broke his hand. Because of that, he was suspended and had to move to the United States. Back in the present, Henry's students now focus during class. They work hard for the college entrance exam. Everyone is doing well except Bruce. He has become addicted to pills. While Chris used video games to escape from his home problems, Bruce turned to drugs. Because he can't focus, Bruce does very poorly on the practice test. Henry says he will help him, but Bruce becomes more sad. One day, he jumps from the balcony of his house. He is rushed to the hospital and falls into a coma. The news spreads fast. The media blames the school and Henry for what happened. People from the education board talk to Henry and decide to take away his teaching license. Henry packs up and leaves the school. His students run after him, begging him to stay. They are very sad, but they know they must do well on the final test to make him proud. From that day on, the class studies twice as hard. They want to prove to the school board that Henry is a good teacher. On exam day, every student gets a text that seems to be from Henry. It tells them to meet at school 1 hour before the test. When the students gather, they discover it is a trap set by Jianying. He plans plans to lock them in so they miss the exam and to hurt Henry's reputation. Soon, Henry arrives, learns what happened, and frees the students. He then fights Jian Ying's men so the kids can leave safely. The students hurry to the test center while Henry faces Jian Ying. During their fight, Jian Ying reveals he was the boy Henry once hit with water balloon. Because Henry also broke his arm back then, Jian Ying missed a big music contest and never played piano again. He has held a grudge ever since. Henry tries to apologize, but Jian Ying attacks. They struggle over a night. Henry gains control but chooses not to harm Jian Ying. He asks for forgiveness and walks away. The students reach the exam hall just in time and finish the test. Weeks later, results come out. They all pass with high scores. Jian Ying begins practicing piano again, though he is rusty. Bruce wakes from his coma and promises to take the entrance exam next year. The school hears good news too. The board gives them a 20% bonus for their strong exam results. Henry returns as a teacher. On the first day with a new class, he uses the fire sprinkler trick again to get everyone's attention. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe for more.